All right, and we should be live. Hey, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
Just wanted to say a hi real quick to all four. If you don't know, the four here, we have Renee from the Tarot Magician. We have Nancy from Crohn's Intuition. We have Laura from Aquamarine 18. And we have the lovely, lovely Jackie Jacaranda. So I am so excited. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. And it actually just all the pieces fell into place perfectly today. So I just want to do some hellos real quick. And also in advance, I just want to thank Ben because he has got all the links for the mods, to put in our channels and et cetera, et cetera. So he's going to be doing that for us. And if you're also a mod, if you want to help out, of course, that's awesome too. So we appreciate everybody. I know there's several mods in now, so. Let's just say hello. And first in was Shauna. And I wanted to do a shout out because Shauna just started her own channel. I believe she has at least one video out. And I did see Ange put in her channel name. So, hi, Shauna.
Hello.
And then Ange, of course. Hey, Ange.
Hey, Ange.
And then we got this lady named Aquamarine. And then just have to scroll down. We're chit-chatting. That's awesome. All right. And while I'm thinking of it, you guys feel free to post questions if you have questions about the decks that we're showing in all caps so that I can address that and see that. That would be wonderful. Let me see. Asha. Asha's here. Hello.
Hello, hello.
Patrice. Hey, Patrice.
Hello.
And that Ben guy is here. Hi, sweet Ben.
Thank you, Ben.
And yes, thank you so much for doing this for us. And sorry, my chat's a little slow. And then there's this Hermit's Cave guy. And I mean, I don't think anybody knows who this person is, but.
Hi, Simon.
Hi, Simon.
Hi, Simon.
Thank you for joining us, Mr. Simon. And I know there's more. I saw Robin. So, hey there, Robin. Sandra's here. Sandra. You say it's Sandra, right? Somebody would correct me. Jackie? Is it Sandra or Sandra?
Sandra in UK.
Sandra. Hi, Miss Sandra. And I just want to make sure I don't want to miss anybody. Donna, my voice is going again. Donna Riedler is here. Hey, Donna. Diane. Hey, Diane.
Hello.
Wow, you guys been chatting away. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. That makes me happy. Make sure I haven't missed anybody. If I have missed you, I do apologize. I'm at the end now, so I hope I didn't miss anybody. But welcome,
Hey,
everybody here. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, hey, Asha.
Yes, hello, Asha. Dancing Soul Sister is here. I used to know her name. Oh God, is it Hannah? I might be wrong. She'll let me know. But it's nice to have you. I don't think you've been in one of my lives yet. So thank you. I'm glad you're here. Tell me if I got your name right. I think it might be Hannah, but might be wrong. Okay, so just wanted to go over a little bit of what we're going to be doing, and then we're just going to turn it over to each other. So it was originally going to be the 4 elements, and then I had a block this morning on water, and I'm like, I don't have any idea what to do. And I actually got inspiration for this live from Laura, because I watched her video on watery decks, and she was doing a VR to Corbin. So if Ben, you don't mind putting hey Mel, if you don't mind putting Corbin's link in there, I would appreciate that. And so that we'll have their link in there. And so Jackie actually told me this morning when I told her I'm just having a stumbling block with this. She's like, well, isn't there a fifth element, which is spirit? I'm like, yeah. And I had been thinking in the back of my head that I really wanted Laura on this anyways. And she graciously accepted it the last minute, just a few hours ago. And she has totally
Yay.
different water decks than I have. So very, very happy to have her. All right, so yeah, just questions in bold. What we're going to do is we're just going to go around. We're going to show like one deck each. We're going to do about 3 to 5, maybe more, maybe less of each deck that relates to our certain element. So Renee is a Aries, correct?
Yes. Correct.
So there is our fire. Nancy is a Taurus. So there's our earth. Jackie is a Libra. So there is our air. And Laura is a Pisces. Boom, I had it. So that's our water. And then I'm so excited to cover the spirit because I get to do the fun like angel and fairy and la-di-da decks. So I'm really happy. It's just worked out perfect. So let me see here. Any comments? Okay. Yeah, if you have any comments, make sure you just put them in bold for me, guys. I really appreciate that. All right. So, well, I just want to go around real quick to each person. And as I'm doing that, Ben is going to put, did we lose somebody? Did we lose Jackie?
Jackie.
Jackie, come back.
There we go.
Is she back? There you are. I'm like,
Sorry,
she
don't
didn't
know
jump out already. You're fine. You're fine. So, yeah, I was just saying I was going to go around and just have you just briefly say who you are, whatever you want to say, but promote your channel. And then when we get to Jackie, she doesn't have her channel, but I have a few things to say. So we will just go around. Start us off, Renee.
Well, hello, guys. My name is Renee, the Tarot Magician. I've been a practicing psychic and medium for over 10 years now. I barely started my channel, though, doing live streams probably a little over a year ago. So I am on YouTube. However, my biggest platform right now is TikTok. So if you have TikTok, you can find me on there as well. But yeah, I mean, that's basically it on my YouTube. I also like to do like pick a card readings. I do live streams pretty much about 3 to 4 times a week. I try to do more if possible. I'm very active on both my platforms. But yeah, that's basically it for me.
Awesome. And Renee is very special to me because Renee was one of the first people that asked me to do a live. And she helped me so much be comfortable with doing lives, just as the other people who have, Mitch, Gerald, Amy have had me on their channel as well. But she's very special to me, and she does awesome readings. So I think Ben already put Renee's in there, possibly. So we'll get your channel in there. And so over to Miss Nancy.
Well, hello. I'm Nancy, a Crohn's Intuition, and I am relatively new to the tarot. I just absolutely love this community and wanted to be a part of it, and so I started my channel. I do some meditations and some deck walkthroughs, very few readings. I just read for myself, not anyone else, but I appreciate all my subscribers, and it's wonderful being able to see all of you.
Awesome. And if you need a good meditation, you need a good calming voice in the morning, someone to just lift you up, you need to go to Nancy's channel because she is fantastic. And when I get in my usual Scorpio anxious self, I can come to Nancy and I know she'll be there for me, and she'll be like just totally chill and make things better. So she's got a wonderful channel as well. Hi, Regina. I saw you pop in, so I wanted to say hello to you. Again, if I missed anybody, I do apologize. So thank you, Ben. Ben just put in Nancy's channel. So everybody, please go and like and subscribe to everyone's channel. You will love all the content of these. So, Miss Laura, you are up.
Hi, I'm Laura. Aquamarine18 is my channel. I've been on YouTube for about 2.5 years, but I was a chat and comment lurker before that for at least a year or two. I got my first tarot deck from my family about 20 years ago. I read very predominantly for myself, but also for family and friends, not professionally or anything like that. My channel, I ramble on my channel. I ramble about decks, I ramble about books, and I just started a new series, Divination Speculations, that's going to bring together tarot and oracle and divination, philosophy, and science fiction and fantasy. So that's where I'm going next.
Yeah, I just had to unmute myself. So yeah, so I found out Laura had a channel, and I immediately caught I went to her video playlist and I saw watery decks, and I've always wanted to see a video on watery decks and could never find one. And she had a wonderful one. So, and she actually has every single deck she showed, I do not have. So what I'm hoping and what I'm sure, and I was going to tell you guys, you may want a piece of paper and pen. I've got mine here because I'm sure, unless your name is probably Simon, you probably don't have every single deck that is going to be shown here. And maybe we'll even get Simon. I'd love to know, Simon, if you don't have a deck and somebody shows it, I'd love for you to tell us. So we'll see how that goes. Laura has some very interesting decks. Now, very special. For her first time with a full live ever is one of my besties in the world. And this is Jackie Jacaranda. And I can't say enough good things about her. And Jackie, say hello, whatever you would like to do.
Hi, I'm Jackie, as you know. You see me around on different people's channels, modding on quite a few. So now you get to see me live. Bit scary, but I'm going for it.
And I'm so glad that you decided to do it. You know that, and I think you're incredible. This is like the I don't know, the top mod ever, right? She just goes out of her way, and she goes to so many of our lives, so many of our channels to watch videos, and can't say enough good things about Jackie. Regina says Jackie's got mad mod skills. Yes, she does. Yay, Jackie, for Donna. Yay, Jackie, from Ben. And we got Laura's channel in here as well. Please go subscribe to that. And somebody said they subscribed to Jackie's channel. And I'm like, Jackie doesn't have a channel up yet, but you must have a subscribe button on there, Jackie. So maybe that's something for you to think about. And we'll just leave it at that, because you've taken a huge step today with us. And I'm honored to have all of you here.
Thank you. Thanks for looking after me.
Yep, of course I'm going to. Yes. So I think we're ready to go. Again, if you have any questions for me, I'll be taking my glasses on and off so I can see the comments. But just make sure you put them in bold. And what I'll do is when I get, whenever, let's say Renee is done, if you want to comment about her deck, I will stop for just a moment, come back to me, and then we will, recognize your comments. And then we'll go on to Nancy, and we're just going to go around and we'll see what happens. And if anybody's been to my lives, it can be short or they can be mega long. So we're just going to go with the flow. And there you go. So I am going to go ahead and let our fire start with Renee. So Renee, let me make you big.
Go for it.
Oh, I almost hit remove from stream. We don't want to do that.
All right.
You are up.
We're ready. The first deck, I actually have 3 decks to talk about, but we're going to be doing them separately. So the first deck I want to talk about, I'm pretty sure everybody has this in their collection because it's one that everybody talks about. It's not so much like a fiery deck like as a whole, but I do love the specific fire suit within this deck, if that makes sense. Like the one that I'm going to be talking about last is the most I think has like all my fiery like things that I love about that deck. So that one's going to be saved for last, okay? So the first one I'm going to talk about, I also have to talk about this one because it is my soul deck. Like as soon as I purchased this deck, I knew that it was special. Okay, can you guys guess what it is? I'm pretty sure like half the comments are going to know exactly what I'm talking about, okay? So it is the Light Seers. Yes, of course, I have to talk about this deck. But again, because of the fire suit in itself, okay, like I said, not because it reminds me of fire altogether. It's just the suits in particular. Some of these are my favorite, okay? So the first ones we're going to talk about is obviously the Ace of Wands. I love this Ace of Wands specifically because the fire here is around the third eye. And that alone, like when I saw this, I was like, yes, because obviously the third eye is about, obviously it's about psychic abilities, but without passion, which is obviously what fire is about, is passion and creativity. Without that being a part of it, then there's really nothing that you can lean on, if that makes sense, right? So yes, I love the Ace of Wands. I'm going to try to go quickly, but at the same time, like in depth as I possibly can. The Two of Wands, this is also one of my favorite ones too, because the Two of Wands for me speaks about decision making. And so I love that she's holding on to one, like, what are they called? Like one wand, one rod. Some of them are called rods, others are called wands, but in this deck it's called wands, right? So I love how she's holding on to one specific wand, and then there's another one here on the background, forgive me, trying to decide which one she is going to go ahead and go with, right? You love this deck too? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you guys are going to know this deck, okay? I also love too because sometimes the Two of Wands, for me does talk about some things that are at a distance, but distance meaning like things that are on their way to you because of the decisions that you are making, right? So I love how there's, a world here symbolizing travel. There's also a little bus here symbolizing that as well. So I love that. All right, next is the Three of Wands. This is the Three of Wands. I like how there's already incorporating, again, that distance with like the ocean here in the background. That's obviously what the Three of Wands represents too, right? Things that are on the way to you. So I love that as well. And just the colors in this card also, like the purples, the pinks, like even the slight orange, that brings me so much joy and happiness to this card too. All right, Four of Wands. So I love this one, obviously, because of what is that, like a tent or like a circus supposed to be? I'm not sure, but it is like a tent, but it has four wands surrounding it, right? Which obviously represents that foundation and that stability, right? Would love to, yes, the indie version. This is the mass market version. I did not get the indie version, so this is the mass market one that you can purchase on Amazon, and it's a really good price too. For those of you who don't have it, it's a really good price, which is also why I love this deck so much as well. And I love how there's these two girls that are just celebrating and dancing, because that's also what the Four of Wands represents as well, right? Celebration and harmony as well. Five of Wands. Look how intense this Five of Wands is, okay? I love how there's this separate man here, and he's just like holding the fire, like it looks like the fire is literally coming out of his hands, right? And I love that about this Five of Wands. I mean, who wouldn't, right? All right, Six of Wands. So this one obviously doesn't have a lot of fire in it, but I love how it's just this one wand sticking out here, and it has like the wreath around it symbolizing all you need is that one success moment in your life, right? And then obviously I love how there are these hands in the background just like applauding her with the victory and the success. So in this one, I actually love, like I said, how there's just this one wand, because it's like, all right, I hit the goal that I was trying to reach, and this is what I wanted, and this is why I got the recognition, victory, and success, if that makes sense. I also like all the lights coming from above here, because it does kind of bring that fiery element, you know what I'm saying? Just with the bright lights, and of course, because of the colors surrounded in the background, it looks like it's just like light flashing from an actual fire, if that makes sense. I got the mass market version half price during a Hay House sale. That is awesome, Donna. All right, so 7 of Wands. Again, not so much of fiery, but I love the simple version of this card too, because it talks about a 7 of Wands for me talks about a time of relaxation and like protecting your energy. Not so much guarding your energy, just being in protective mode. And because of that, I actually like how there's like a crystal ball and she looks like she's meditating. It also looks like there could possibly be a fire in the back, even though it could be clouds as well. Just however you see it and however you interpret it in the background here. So I do like that as well as far as that element goes. 8 of Wands. I love how they're all like, even though usually the 8 of Wands, they're supposed to be going in one direction. But on this one, I love how they're pointing in one direction, even though they're all kind of like facing differently. They're still pointing in one direction, which I love that too. And again, the sparks kind of look like a fire from, the spark, if that makes sense. I like it just fine, Sandra. I think it shuffles. Yes, it does shuffle really well too. All right, 9 of Wands. Again, I love how there's one specific wand that's lit on fire, and this is the one she's holding on to, protecting, because this card does, for me, represents like being in that defensive mode and like protecting your energy. I also love how there's wands like in front of her as well and surrounding her. So it looks like she's kind of like in this like, I don't know, like circle, and she's protecting her energy there too. So I love that one as well. Yes, I love the colors in this deck, like just in particular, like with everything. The colors really stood out to me in this deck as well, because I'm very much a color person. I love seeing when decks have so much color in them, so I agree with that too. 10 of Wands, I love this one because of the journey. That's what the 10 of Wands represents, right? Coming to an end of your journey, but at the same time, still not quite at your destination. I love that she has like baggage here. And I love how there's, this animal helping her carry her baggage as well. But I also love how the fire is represented as the travel part. That's the part for me that I really, really like the 10 of Wands for. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss any of the comments at the same time. All right, Page of Wands. We're almost there. Page of Wands. I love in this one how like the youthfulness, but also the playfulness in this card as well too, because that's also what wands can represent, having that playful energy, like, just going with the flow and using your passion as your drive. And I think this card really, really does a great job of that particular interpretation, if that makes sense. I also really love the colors in this deck as well, like how they bring out the yellow, because yellow for me does represent more of like a youthful type of energy. It is kind of really near to my soul. Mine too. This is my soul deck. That's why I call it my soul deck, because I was like, and I was actually, when I found this deck, I wasn't necessarily looking for a soul deck, but I was hearing that term a lot, like when I did find this deck. And then as soon as I found it, I was like, that's funny how I've been hearing that term, and then as soon as I got it, I literally felt that connection, right? The Knight of Wands, this is one of my favorite Knight of Wands. Not just because it's a woman, okay? But I do love that factor. But I love how she's like drumming, she's pounding the drum and the fire is coming from the drum. I love that interpretation. I also love how there's wands surrounding her as well, and she just looks like she's ready. She's ready for what has to come. She also looks like she's a fighter too, which for me, the Knight of Wands also represents being a warrior and being a fighter. And I love how there's like a dark horse here in the background too. It looks like he's ready for battle as well. This is one of my favorite depictions of the Knight of Wands. I will tell you that. And also the Queen of Wands. Look at all these candles. I mean, that brings my fiery goodness so happy, because candles is the one thing I work with. In case y'all didn't know, I am also a witch, and so I do like spell work and, all the above. So candles is the one tool that I gravitate towards for manifestation. So when I saw this Queen of Wands and when I saw all the candles surrounding her, that made me so happy. And not only that, but it looks like her hand is a candle in itself, right? Because obviously the fire is coming from her hand. And when I saw that too, it just made me, I was like, I wish I could do that myself. Like, I wish I had that power. Obviously, we do have that power within us, but you know what I'm saying, right? But I love this Queen of Wands. It is so beautiful. All the candles are just goodness. Okay, King of Wands. Look how tough he looks. I mean, I also love how there's a lion in the background here too, because lion does represent having that strength and having that power, like the willpower. And so I love how they incorporated the lion as well in the suit of the wands too, you know? And then obviously he's holding up just one wand. It is full lit and he looks like he's ready. I also love the red in his shirt too. Like, oh, it is so good. So that's the first deck that I wanted to show. Again, not so much that the whole deck in itself, you know, is that fiery, you know, element, but this particular suit in this deck, that's why I wanted to talk about. So like I said, the last one that I talk about, I think has more of that fiery energy altogether. So I think that's all I have for the first deck. Up next,
Yay!
Scott.
Oh, did we lose Jackie again? All right, let's put her back in here.
Oh,
Did I do a good timing? Because I try to go fast, but still kind of like talk at the same time.
You're fine, and yeah, we're just playing this right here. You're great. I'm just trying to get Jackie back here. 1 second. Hey, are you there, Jackie?
Hey, I'm back.
You're back. Okay. Glad you're back. No, I was just gonna say about the light seers. So I kept passing up on this deck, and one of my friends was like, "You got to get it. You got to get it." It was actually one of the cheapest decks that I have bought, and that is a freaking workhorse for me. It's a workhorse. Like I can read that frontwards, backwards. So I'm really glad you started with that deck. That was pretty cool.
I was like, I have to talk about it. I know everybody's probably gonna be like, "Yes, I have that deck," but I was like, I still have to talk about it.
Yes, and Kim came in, and someone else I think I might have missed, but if I missed you, I apologize. So yeah, Elizabeth, yeah. So Elizabeth's here, and now we have Kim as well from Moon Spirit. Hey guys. All right, so Miss Nancy, you are up.
I am up. And Renee, I have 2 copies of the Light Seers Tarot. That's the only deck that I have 2 copies of. So I really enjoy it as well. My first deck is the Bone Stone and Earth Flesh, which I feel so fortunate to have been able to have gotten. It's a deck created by Avalon Cameron, and the art is by Anna Torian. And the first card that I wanted to show you is the Fool. And doesn't that look earthy? Just look at her. There's toadstools, and there's fairies and trees, and this person looking in, spider above her head, into the void within the tree, which looks absolutely tantalizing, doesn't it? I love this card. The second is the Empress. And doesn't this, I mean, this is a truly earth card. The Empress is part of the earth. She has been incorporated into the tree and into the nature around her. It's like she's one with nature. She's one with Gaia. And I absolutely love this Hermit card. Now, in the story, in the guidebook, she did not always live in a cave. She was not always a hermit. But she outlived her clan. And now she is in the cave, and she is alone, but not really, because she's surrounded by the love of her ancestors. And she is not sad. She is complete within herself. And she's surrounded by the earthiness of her existence. The Ace of Pentacles. shows rebirth coming from death. I just absolutely love this card. And it shows the promise of ongoing life and how our earth will always be here, hopefully. And the last card that I chose from this deck is the Four of Pentacles. And I am absolutely mesmerized by this card. And to me, it is a person who only cared about the things in life. And if you can see, the greenery from outside was beckoning her and asking her, you know, enjoy life. But that wasn't important to her at the time. And now all she has left are her things and no memories to go with it. So this is one of my favorite Four of Pentacles. And this is the end of my most favorite deck. And I might say that this is my soul deck. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Nancy. And I forgot to say as well, and Nancy, my apologies. So this is Jackie's first full live. This is Nancy's second first full live, and she was on a 5 person as well, where she was showing her necklaces on Jonathan Daly's channel. So thank you for wanting to do this as well with us. And I know everyone loves you and your spirit, and I know people have been showing you love as well through the chat. So I tried to put some of the comments up. But yes, thank you. So this is beautiful. And I've wanted that deck for a while, but it's like literally $500 to $1,000 every time I look. So I'm like, I'm going to have to wait for a reprint or a no edition or something. But yeah, I love that deck. So thank you.
Gorgeous.
All right, Miss Laura, are we ready for the water?
I think I'm ready.
Let's get you big here. Boom.
Okay, so for my water decks, I've chosen to do a mix of kind of literal water and figuratively watery decks. If folks have seen my video, they'll know which ones I'm thinking of. But starting with a kind of very literally watery deck, I chose the Tarot of the North Atlantic by Lee Thompson. I learned about this deck from Corbin of Tailraven Tarot, and it's the most impulsive deck purchase I've ever made. I saw it and I was like, my Pisces heart just needs this deck, and paused their walkthrough and went and bought it, and then came back and watched the rest. And the Tarot of the North Atlantic is made with embroidery and stitching. So I'm going to try to make sure that it shows. It's really intricate. These are the backs of the cards. And of course, they feature the North Atlantic and animals and plants of the North Atlantic Ocean. So I've tried to pick some cards that show kind of the range that the deck has. I love the Tower in this deck. It's, I feel like evokes the sense of not often knowing everything that's going on, something beneath the surface, and thinking about kind of the catastrophic aspect of the tower. I feel like, thinking about icebergs and the fact that they're melting gives a different kind of spin on, the severity that the tower can be, but also that beneath that tower there's life as well. So I really like that. I really like the wheel card in this deck, which shows the moon phases there, which I think, the thinking about how the moon creates the tides and exerts such a force on water, I think makes sense. And it's this kind of force that is, beyond us and inescapable, and it's there. But then also thinking of the moon phases as a thing that probably a lot of us, work with in one way or another. So, thinking about the pull of the moon as so powerful, but also that not meaning, giving up one's agency, which I think in a Wheel of Fortune card, I look for a wheel card. I feel like, you know, there is that sense of fate almost to a wheel card, but also wanting to retain a sense of agency and capacity and choice in that context. So I really like that. And then I wanted to show a few minors because this deck is a pip deck, but it has some sense of little nods here and there to kind of Smith-Waite. So in the 10 of shells, which is of course the water suit, you have a kind of, this could be like the rainbow in that card. So there's, you know, little hints that, you know, if somebody was Smith-Waite style reader, you could still find in the minor arcana as well. Similarly, the 3 of stones is in this deck, stones are pentacles and shells are cups. Bones are wands, and now I'm going to forget the last suit. Forgive me. But again, you know, it's a pip deck, but for a 3 of pentacles, thinking about building and collaboration, there is this little nod to that 3 of pentacles there. And in a lot of the tarot decks I'm showing, I have to show the moon card. The 18 in my name refers to the moon card, which is a good one for me as a Pisces. And I like this moon card because it's really a moon and not much else. It doesn't need much else to evoke what the moon means to me. It's that mysterious. Patrice, no, I have not, I don't think, done a walkthrough of this deck. I know that Corvin has. I could. Are they all this color palette? Yeah, they're pretty close. So it's a very blue deck. There's lots of greens and whites. There's the odd one that's got more purple in it. I don't know if my lighting is going to pick up how purple that is, but they're definitely kind of oceanic colors. And there are no people in this deck. It's all wildlife. Feathers was the last suit that I couldn't remember. Feathers is the air suit. And so I will leave it there. And that's the Tarot of the North Atlantic by Lee Thompson, and probably fairly self-explanatory why it's a watery deck for me.
I love that. I love that so much. And yeah, that's a beautiful deck. That's one that I saw. I think you did it on your watery deck. And that was the first time I had ever seen it. So I know a lot of people were saying they have not seen it at all. And 2 people came in. I saw B Kestrel, and I believe I saw earlier. Oh gosh, I know her name's Jackie, but it's not our Jackie. It's the other Jackie. There's someone who can help me with that long-haired, skinny-eyed toe. Got it. So welcome, you guys. Thank you for coming. So, Jackie, I do want to apologize because we kind of picked an order of how we were going to go, but my StreamYard went a different way, and so I did not mean to leave you as last. But I am so excited to hear from you and see your first deck. Are you ready?
Okay, yep, I'm ready.
All right, you are up.
Right, so hi. My first deck I've picked as the air element is the Mary L. Because I feel like you have to use your brain more. You need the guidebook to delve into to get some of the meanings. They're quite deep. I'll show you some cards while I'm talking. So this is, where am I? The Fool. Looks quite airy to me. The creator uses myths and poems to explain the art, which is really cool. It's, you know, pretty much a study deck. And very thought-provoking. I can't find a camera. So obviously airy to me, to most people.
You're good, actually, Jackie. We're right where you were with that last card. That's showing it perfectly in the middle. Just over just a little bit. Perfect, right
Okay.
there.
All right, that's the Knight. And the King of Swords. Okay, so that's the Marielle. Just a few airy cards from me.
Scott, you're muted.
Oh, thank you. Laura caught me there right at the same time. Yeah, Jackie, you did awesome. And such a, so glad to see you, and for everybody to get the chance to see what I already knew, that you're a wonderful, fabulous person, and I'm glad you picked that deck as well. I have that deck, and it just confused the heck out of me. But I'm going through some of my decks and not keeping some and keeping most. I'm going to keep that one because it's so thought provoking. And I think you even mentioned it earlier. It's very thought provoking. It makes you think about things a different way.
Definitely.
That's very airy. So, yeah, I get that completely. So let's see here. Love the court, says V. Yay, Jackie. Great job. Everybody's just singing your praises. All right.
Sip, sip.
Great idea. So let me sip for a second, and then I'm going to show my first spirit card deck real quick here.
Jackie and
Hey,
I
Shauna.
have our wine.
What's that?
Good idea.
Jackie and I have our wine.
Oh, if I had one, I'd be drinking it right now. But yeah. All right.
Cheers, Nancy.
Cheers.
So I guess I'll go solo, guys. I'm up. So happy to be able to do the spirit decks, and I chose this one first. It's a new deck for me. I absolutely loved it online, but I had never seen it before. And then I think either Nancy told me about it or I just found it. I can't remember. Nancy can tell me after. But this is the Tarot of the Sweet Twilight. And it is gorgeous. And it makes me think of a spirit deck because you just got all these creatures that are not human. But how beautiful are they? Just so beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I just love the imagery in this. The colors, are just so fantastic. And just look at her. I mean, she's just a beautiful, like she's from another, like hidden world that we just need to get to. Right. And then, of course, we have the opposite. So we have and she was that was the Empress. This, I'm having trouble with my humor too. So this is the Devil. And I even think he's a little bit cute. I don't know. Just little cute fairies and trolls. And then we have our adorable moon. And then we have our beautiful world card. This might be my favorite world card ever. Ever, ever, ever. So, just, yes, love it. And even the Three of Swords is just so beautiful. Even though she's stabbing herself in the heart, is such a beautiful card to me. Not that fact that she's doing that, but just her pink hair, like everything's just out of this world, right? Oh, hello, Candy. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for joining us. Right, and Nine of Swords, again, not a pretty card, but look how beautiful. Just love, like I want these socks. Yeah. And I had to show this one. Excuse me. I had to show this one because this is just the Mad Hatter to me, like Johnny Depp's Mad Hatter over and over again. But this is the Knave of Pentacles. This is a very, this is not an expensive deck. It's not huge. It's about the same size as the Rider-Waite. But this is an awesome, beautiful, beautiful deck. If you like things kind of out of this world, what is it? Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Nightmare Before Christmas stuff. This is awesome. Willy Wonka. Yes, thank you. Inch. So there you go. So I'm going to make myself smaller here. I almost hit it removed from stream again. Y'all would have been on your own. Looks like Willy Wonker. Willy Wonker then said.
Wonker.
Willy Wonker. I'm so happy. I love everyone in this chat today. Feels like, oh, thank you, Shauna. And we feel like you're part of us too. Definitely. So, okay. And thank you. I've been seeing Ange and Ben just going nuts with the channel popping in there. Thank you guys so much. Love you all for doing that. So
Yay, Ben.
let's just keep the ball rolling. So yes, Jackie is up there. Yeah, Candy, and we're gonna be going around. So she's got more decks to show. So just stick around. All right, and I am going to mute. Well, let's do this first. Are you ready, Renee? For your second?
Yep, I got it ready.
Boom.
Good? Okay. For my second deck, I chose the Golden Art Nouveau because, okay, I'm an Aries. Okay, I'm an Aries. As an Aries, I love glitter. I love sparkly. Okay, I love fancy things. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. I don't go overboard. I know when my limits, I know when to hit my limits, but I do love something fancy. So I chose this one as my second deck for that because all the glittery goodness brings out my fire sparkle energy like nobody's business. Not only that, but the red colors, the red, orange, and yellows really stick out in all the cards. That's like the color palette of this deck is red, orange, and yellows, right? Yes, I have this one. It's one of my favorites for the summer, right? It brings out like that summer fiery like goodness. I mean, just look at the backs in itself. Red, yellow, a little bit of orange, not really, but you'll see in the cards too, like what I mean. I'm an Aries too, and I love some shiny. You see, Sandra, I'm telling you. I don't know if it's all fire signs, but I know as an Aries usually love like glitter, sparkly, shiny goodness. I know I do, okay? So let's get right into it. Also, hey, Ocean, how you doing? This deck shuffles like a dream. I mean, obviously, right? It's like a standard. I'm pretty sure it's a standard size. I'm not too sure. But it shuffles so good. Yes, the gold in this deck is a dream come true. Okay, so Ace of Wands. Look how gorgeous that is. I mean, look at the sparkle. I know that my lighting is probably not doing it justice, but I'm pretty sure you guys know what I mean, right? You can see it pretty good even so. Ace of Wands, Two of Wands. You see what I mean by the red? A lot of the garments in this deck are red or orange. So I love that. Yes, Leo here, and I love this shiny deck. Also the red colors. You see, Donna? Yes. So then it is all fire signs, right? Not just Aries. It's not just Aries. It's all fire signs. The Two of Wands. Look at that red. I mean, yes. So perfect. I also love how this deck, though, like, even though it's shiny, to me, it's still not overboard. Like you can still see, the people, even the world here, you can still see it really good, even though there's all that sparkle. You Aries girl are so sparkly goodness. Yes, exactly. The Three of Wands, again, more of the red and the yellow in the garment. There's these flowers, so beautiful. Yes, so beautiful energy. Exactly. I love this deck so very much. Four of Wands, how beautiful. I really do love this Four of Wands too, just because this Four of Wands, because of the glitter, it reminds me of a party, like an actual party celebration. Like, because when I think celebration, I think glitter and I think like confetti. So that's what this card reminds me of too, is like confetti just everywhere. What's going on, Scott? What happened?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, are you good?
Yeah, I think it was my internet. Yeah, my internet in the middle of nowhere decided to go out. Let me make sure. Is everybody here?
It happens. Yeah, everybody.
Roll call. Okay, roll call. Okay, so I'm going to make you large again, and we'll just hope that doesn't happen again. I apologize for my internet.
All right, Five of Wands. Look at how good. Like, see what I mean? Like, even though there's glitter everywhere, you can still see the people very prominent. Like, it's not too much of a distraction. This Virgo likes occasional bling and yes. See, Virgos like occasional bling too, right? 6 of Wands. Gorgeous. That red again. Even the horse has like a yellow gold. What is it called? Oh my gosh, I used to have a horse and I already forgot what they're called. Even the horse has a red, a yellow kind of covering clothing. Even his scarf, look. Even his scarf is like red and yellow. Sagittarius here, I love it. Yes, the fire signs have it. Yes. Okay, so see, it's all fire signs. It's not just Aries. 7 of Wands. Beautiful. This one has more like a green orange kind of clothing. Still love it though. 8 of Wands. Beautiful, beautiful. 9 of Wands. I love this one too because this one is very protective because of all the wands in the background, and then the one he's holding is like, yes, yes. Renee, not only Aries love sparkly things, I know, but you know what I mean. Like, for the most part, that's what it is. 10 of Wands. Beautiful. Beautiful. I love this. This deck was actually a gift too from one of my friends. It was a gift, I think, for my birthday. So even more so, it has a special like connection for me. This is the Page of Wands, I believe. I love to like, even the garment has, all of these really pretty designs. The mixture of the red and orange, like radiant. Yes. And the Knight of Wands. We have everything. Everything about this one too is so beautiful. His garment too is gorgeous. And then of course the beautiful Queen of Wands. I mean, the Queen of Wands. I would have preferred, I think, the Queen of Wands to have a red garment, but I'm okay because it's a yellow and orange, like gradient. It's still good. It's still good. And then the King of Wands. This is where the King of Wands has more of that red and that orange. So yes, this deck, I mean, when I really want to tap into my fiery energy, this is pretty much one of the decks that I go to as well. And it's beautiful. Again, it's called the Golden Art Nouveau. For those of you who don't know, it's also a really good price. You can find it on Amazon. I mean, it's beautiful. All right. Second deck, good to go.
All right, thank you. Yeah, that actually, like, I got the Rider-Waite-Smith, and I'm one of these that likes, kind of the knockoffs, right? With the more modern take on that. But I believe it was Jackie who, and Jackie, you can tell me if this is correct. I believe Jackie showed me this deck, and I was like, that's going on my wish list. Like, I want another Rider-Waite now because that is nice. And me and you and our colors, right? Our bright colors, Renee.
Bright colors, exactly.
Yeah, love that deck. Love.
Too.
Okay, and let's see if a couple more people came in. If I missed you, I'm sorry. I know Ocean Garnett is here. I know Mila is new, and she is here for my first time in my life. So welcome so much. I see a lot of people showing you love. Bluebell Oracle is also here. I think his first time. So welcome. And Nancy, are we ready?
I am ready.
All right, Miss Nancy's up.
Okay, this deck I have not had very long. It is the Tarot of the Abyss by Anna Torian. And the first card is the Magician. And as they say, we are all magicians, right? And it's from an earthy standpoint. Look at those roots. And then the branches and the heart. I just love this card. And there is something about a black and white deck. It's almost like you notice the detail more. At least I have found that to be true. The second one that I chose is the Lovers. And this is a tree. And look at the roots. They're intertwined. And the trees are actually growing together. They're so close. And up above, it's almost like they're making love there. And I think that is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Such detail. Now the next card is Death. And if you remember the Fool card from the Bone Stone and Earth Flesh, how the Fool was looking into the tree and saw the beauty of the starry night. Well, if you look into Death, there's that beautiful starry gorgeousness. And I look at the Death card as a card of transformation. I certainly don't see it as a negative card. And when I see this card, I embrace it because I know it has much to teach me. The next one is the Ace of Pentacles. Here it is growing. The roots aren't as deep, but look at the branches. They're full of fruit. They're full of fruit. The Three of Pentacles. To me, this is a card of working together. Look at the three hands. So you know that there's more than one person, right? And you know when you used to play tug of war when you were young, how you dig in your heels into the dirt when you were trying to win? And this is what this looks like to me. Teamwork. Teamwork is important, isn't it? Even teamwork in our tarot community. And the last card that I thought I would show is the Ten of Pentacles. And look at the detail in this card. It's the two partners' hands. And there's the family. And you see the stairs going up right here, going up and up and up, all the way up to the beautiful home. There's a tree there too. And this really touched me because look at how the hands are touching, gently touching. And that is The Tarot of the Abyss by Anna Torian.
Thank you, Nancy. That was awesome. Yeah, I actually have that deck as well as a recent purchase. And I had never looked at the Lover's card like that. Like you said that they were almost making love. I thought that was awesome. And just like always, you know, you give such insightful meanings to the cards. So everybody was talking about that as well. So yeah, so that deck is amazing, just very beautiful. Yeah, so great choice. So Laura, are you ready to go next?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, you're up.
Okay, so I'll show another tarot deck for this round. And the deck that I chose is the Architect's Tarot by Yusuf Bushiri. And I know this is a deck that will scream air for some folks because architecture is definitely this kind of analytical sensibility about it. And the creator, Yusuf Bushiri, is a architecture PhD student at the time of making this deck. But this is definitely a watery deck to me. This is the backs. Partly because it's watercolor artwork, but also because there's something very fantastical about these cards. And so this is the Page of Cups. In this deck, the court cards are numbered, so they're just 11, 12, 13, and 14, which I like because it feels reasonably non-hierarchical. It's not gender specific, but it's still, it's quick to know which card is which. And thinking about the pages for me being being kind of curious and being students and, you know, being just interested and keen and, you know, perhaps beginners at something. I really like the, you know, the perspective capturing curiosity here, and the flying goldfish, I think, give it a kind of whimsical sense about it, and you can really see the watercolor, like the detail in this deck up close, which I really like. I have to show the moon card. Again, I like, you know, a simple depiction of the moon card, but I really like in this one, there's a little tail there, a whale tail in the sky that gives this one a bit of a, you know, there's a little bit of fantasy, and I've mentioned on my channel before, you know, I like decks that depict the moon in a more neutral way, and not so much this kind of, you know, threatening unknown, I think, that can come in a lot of moon cards. But I feel like the moon card is like seductive and fantastical and, you know, shadowy in a curiosity invoking kind of way, and I really like that aspect of this. And again, like his eye for perspective, I think, is incredible, thinking about the Five of Cups and the overwhelm of the Five of Cups, thinking about the Smith Waite with the overturned cups just looming into one's attention so that the full ones are not seen. And so those cups being so large here, I think, really captures that well. And there's a lot of water in this deck, even in cards that are not necessarily, you know, not cups cards. But I really like the Chariot card having this, you know, there's a sails and a rudder and drag and all of these things that impact speed and direction, which I think is really suitable for a Chariot card. But again, this kind of, you know, with the ship taking flight, there is that like little bit of a sense of the fantastical to it. And I like how it, the artwork exceeds the borders in this deck. You know, it is bordered, but things always kind of flow off the page. And this deck has, in the minors, they make a panorama like the Prismavisions or some of James Eads decks that make, if you lay out the minors, they make a panoramic scene. This deck does that as well. And I'll just show as a last card the Three of Swords, excuse me. The incorporation of water as symbolizing emotion in a card that is not a water card or a cups card, but there it is, I think, in a really effective way that keeps enough of the imagery that we are familiar with, that it would be a card that would be easy to read for many of us who are used to reading in a Smith Waite system, but also I think add something new. And I think, you know, for those who read in a more pip style, who, you know, find the impaled heart perhaps a bit limiting, I think that this also gives, you know, some openness in a way that I like. And there's lots of, you know, big cups and water features in this deck, you know, that I think are really cleverly used. And so this is definitely a watery deck for me. And reading Yusuf Bushiri's account of making the deck in the guidebook, he talks about creating the deck as an exercise in meditation and self-reflection. And there's a lot of emotion, I think, in this artwork that is really striking. Thinking about the water eroding the foundations in this tower. There's just so many thoughtful little components in these cards. So that's the Architect's Tarot by Yusuf Bushiri as a watery deck for me. And I'll leave it there.
Awesome. Thank you. And you know,
Beautiful.
just a couple of things like struck me because I've never seen that deck before. I think, was that on your watery decks as well?
Yeah, all the decks I'm going to show today are on the watery deck. So if folks have watched that video, they're going to get a bit of, I haven't accumulated watery decks since I made that video, so.
Yeah, and I remember that a little bit, but so much imagery came out to me as you were showing it. Like you showed the moon, And I loved how you said the moon doesn't have to be about, something bad. Like I equate the moon almost because it is in control of the water, right? It controls the tides, it controls the ebb and flow of the water. And so I look at the moon as, kind of over our emotions. So I love that. I love that you said it was a panorama. I did not realize that until I saw it does have borders, but they go out. I
Mhm.
have both of the James R. East decks, so I love the panorama decks like that. And the water eroding the castle there in the tower, it's like, yeah, the water we think of as something good, but every element can have good and bad to it in a way. So, right.
Yeah, and I like
Yeah.
decks that don't give too much. Like any card to me is not good or bad, right? Is not inherently. Maybe and you don't want a particular card to show up in a particular spread position because it might be not what you're hoping for if you're reading for yourself. But none of them are inherently positive or negative. So I like there is a sense of neutrality to this deck while it still does really evoke feelings to me, which I like.
Yeah, I get that completely. It looks like we lost Jackie again, so we're going to wait just a second here for her to come back in. I'm sure I'll see her coming back in here in a second. So, talk amongst yourselves, as everyone says. And here she is. I think we got her. And there you are.
Hello. Sorry, I don't know what's going on. It's my internet, I guess.
No problem. I just thought it was your turn and you decided to jet. I'm like, oh no. Okay, so if you're ready, we will put you
Okay,
full
yep.
screen. All right.
Okay. Right, so my next deck is the Star Seeker Tarot. Here's the backs. And it's a lovely purple lilac-y colour. And throughout most of the deck, you get that kind of vibe colour-wise. So it's very airy to me. You can see the kind of like high up in the image. I can't get it straight. There we go.
That's perfect right there.
In the clouds. So purple can relate to spirituality and mysticism. Where are we? There. So I think this deck has a good vibe for that. Purple is for royalty, higher consciousness, and the third eye. As well as being the seasonal colour of air. This way. Okay, that's all I got for the Star Seeker Tarot.
Awesome. I love that. Yeah, I don't have that one either. And I have to put that on my wish list. That's really cool the way you explained it. And said the Star Seeker, so you think of air, and I could definitely see that as fitting in. So, and you are glowing on screen, my dear. You are radiant. So I just want to give you that encouragement. So
Thank you.
Yeah. So how's everybody doing? Are we good on time so far? Everybody, we good? Awesome. Okay.
Good.
So I don't see any questions. I'm trying to put comments up. If you guys can see the comments, if it distracts you, don't worry about it. But I am trying to put a there's a lot of people who have a lot of great things to say about your decks, about you. So that's awesome. So I was so happy that I get to show this one. This is one of my favorite decks, and it has its own system, so everybody has their own opinion about the dreams of Gaia. And it's a little glossy. Like I said, it does have its own system. So I would not probably recommend this for new readers, but oh my God, is it beautiful! It's just beautiful and it's otherworldly to me. Just the pictures, just the beauty in there is just otherworldly. It just says spirit all over to me. You know, it's just like another plane that we can almost get to. Um, to show a few of these, like just beautiful, and it kind of reminds me of. I was thinking about doing it for the water portion too, because there's a lot of water in this deck. I do rename, you know, a lot of them. So the counselor, I think, is one of the. I think it's the knights, and they have different names. So, like I said, it's a different system. So, you know, if you don't like different systems in Rider-Waite-Smith, it might not be for you. But I just love it for its beauty. I mean, look at that. His third eye there. If I can point to it, yeah, just gorgeous. And my last one, look at this full card. Look at that with the tree. And then you got the one that's crying, the one that's good, and then you got 3 separate doors here that the fool can choose to go through. You choose your own path, right? So much imagery in these. Just, I just really, really love this deck. It's one of my top 5 decks that I own, and I just think it's beautiful and otherworldly, and that's why I picked it as a spirit deck. So there you go. And I'm gonna put myself back here. All right. Awesome. Okay. I love that full card. Yeah, look at those doors. I want to walk through them. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like which door would you pick? It's like one of those things. The red or the blue pill, you know, kind of something
Gorgeous
there.
deck. Gorgeous deck.
I don't have that one. I'm gonna have to add it to my wish list.
Oh, Renee, oh my God, you need that one. And someone said they have a pocket oracle. You know, I love that they're so big. That's like one, because the beauty just, you know, you have smaller decks sometimes, and
Yeah.
you're like, if they would just make this bigger, it would be so beautiful because there's so much detail. Shadowscapes comes to my mind because that's one that's real small. It's beautiful, but it's so small you almost miss a lot. And I love this, but I'm sure it's great in the pocket
I love
as well.
pockets because I have small hands. So for me, the pocket size is perfect.
Right, definitely. Yeah, I can see you with definitely with that deck.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Renee.
Last one.
You are back up.
All right, I chose the best for last. Okay, if you're a fire sign and you don't have this deck, I can guarantee you you're either gonna buy it or you're gonna add it to your wish list. Okay, I'm gonna tell you that right now. So look at these backs. Look at these backs. I mean, it's got a dragon. Okay, this reminds me of this is actually the Wizard's Tarot, by the way. So it actually reminds me of the Harry Potter and Goblet of Fire. If you love Harry Potter, you'll also love this deck too, because this is, again, it's a wizard's deck. So it has like that witchy feel to it also, witchy wizard feel. But look at these backs. I mean, fire to max, okay? I love the dragon, how it's like wrapped around. I'm just going to call this the Goblet of Fire because that's what I think. Yeah, these are the backs. These are the backs. Look. The Wizard's Tarot, okay? I love how the dragon is like wrapped around I'm gonna call it the goblet, okay? Because that's what I think of when I see this, all right? So if you're a fire sign and you love Harry Potter, you need this deck, okay? It's borderless, okay? I love borderless decks, all right? I definitely prefer borderless over bordered decks, okay? Just because I'm an intuitive reader, so I love seeing the majority of the picture I can see, the better for me. Let's just put it that way, right? Look at this Ace of Wands. Look at this Ace of Wands. I mean, even her clothing is red. The wand is even on fire, as you can see, but the fire surrounds it. I know, right, Ben? Friggin' gorgeous. It's just fire everywhere. 2 of Wands. I love this one too because this from here also reminds me of like a crystal ball. and the crystal ball looks like it's on fire. It also has like the green blue element to fire, which I love because fire, you know, it's not only red, orange, and yellow, but it can also be green and blue, right? In some cases. So I really do like that. And then up here too, it looks like these little things are the wands. The wands has the red and the orange, and then over here to like a light blue, which is also pretty. Yes, so much fire, right, Donna? That's why I wanted to save the best for last, because I knew this one would be like the top tier. 3 of Wands, how gorgeous. I love how it's like an office setting or like, you know, a sacred space setting. It looks beautiful. The 4 of Wands. I like how in this one too, you know, it looks like he's kind of dreaming about, you know, or fantasizing about someone, and it looks like she's there, but not quite there just yet. So that can give another meaning to it too. But obviously, depending on how you read in itself, right? Look at this 5 of Wands. I'm sorry, but does this not scream Harry Potter? 5 of Wands. Look how gorgeous that is, the fire coming out and everything. And then even here it looks like there's like a little bit of other elements like the blue. So beautiful. 6 of Wands. Yeah, the lights look really realistic, right? I also really like that in a deck when it looks more realistic than fantasy, but I also do like a little bit of both. It just depends. Magic dueling, yes, right? 6 of Wands, very pretty. Again, reminds me of the Goblet of Fire when they're going to like put their names in the thing. Yeah, that's what I think of. 7 of Wands, I love how the, you know, his wand is on fire, pointing towards all the other wands coming at him. Lord, I can't speak. I'm so excited. 8 of Wands, very fancy. And look how intense this 9 of Wands is. Look how intense. Does that not look like he's ready for battle? I mean, and his, you know, he has his wand all lit and ready to go, but the back is like dark. Oh, I love that. And the 10 of Wands too, so beautiful. I love all the colors too that are on here. So beautiful. Page of Wands, look at this page. Look at this page again with like the red and orange kind of to the clothing. It brings, I'm going to be poor. The artwork is memorizing. It really is. It really is. The Knight of Wands. Oh, I love it. Love it. And again, the horse has the red clothing on him too. I love it also when how the knight is literally charging with the wand lit on fire. I love that. But look at this Queen of Wands though. Look, Queen of Wands is obviously one of my favorite cards, like in tarot. Besides the Magician, obviously, the Magician, the Emperor, and the Queen of Wands are the 3 cards that I identify with. So this Queen of Wands looks like, don't mess with her. Don't mess with her. But look at her dress. Not only her dress, but like her crown and everything. I mean, I need that dress in my life. I'm the King of Wands. So yes, like I said, if you don't have this deck and you're a fire sign, you need this one in your collection. I mean, everybody needs this in their collection, not just if you're a fire sign. But this screams fire to me, and I love it. Every time I use this deck too, I get a lot of compliments on it. It shuffles like a beauty. If you love to ripple shuffle, this shuffles like a dream. Okay, it's also a really good size too, because as I mentioned earlier, I have really small hands. I mean, I have long fingers, but in general, my hands are like small. So this is the perfect size for me too. You know, just for those of you out there who have this struggle as well. And it's also a really good price too. I believe you can also find it on Amazon as well. So again, the Wizard's Tarot is my 3rd choice. And we're good.
It's gorgeous.
Thank you. Yes.
Scott, you're muted again.
Okay, gotcha. I've had it muted when I'm not supposed to, and then I was supposed to have mine muted when Laura was talking a minute ago, and I'm like agreeing. I'm like, right, and I realized my mic was on. I was like, oops. Yeah. So, yeah, Renee, just saying, I don't wear dresses, but if I did, I would want that Queen of Wands dress too. So
Yes. I mean,
it's just fabulous.
I need the dress.
I need that dress in my life. Yeah. Okay, Nancy, you ready?
I am ready.
All right, you are up.
There I am. Actually, I'm going to incorporate two decks. One has 3 cards and the other has 2 cards, and they could not be more different. But I love both of these decks. I absolutely love the Tarot of the She. And the Pentacle suit is called the Maker. And this is the Earth, is the Ace. And look at how this being is part of the earth, hunkered down into the earth, and you can see the trees above. Isn't that beautiful? And the other 2 cards, the Maker 7, effort sustained, and the Maker 8, emergence. And I wanted to show them together because they remind me of the stones that you see in Great Britain. And I think of the Tour de Danann, am I pronouncing it correctly? Which I think is another name for the She, and how they could not live on Earth anymore, and so they went underneath the Earth to live. And it makes me wonder if they had something to do with these giant stones that are found throughout the United Kingdom. Just something I think about. And the next deck is Ethereal Visions. And I just recently got this deck. And there was something about this deck. I saw it on Beneficial Tarot's channel, Ben's channel. There was something about this deck that reminded me of my mother. And I wanted to show you the 5 of Pentacles. Whoop. The 5 of, whoop, there we go. The 5 of Pentacles. And look at the mother holding the child. And they look like they're in dire straits, don't they? They don't really have anything, but they have each other. They have each other. And then I looked at the 9 of Pentacles, and I see this woman with plenty. She has all of these grapevines and a beautiful home, probably all kinds of fortune, things. Then I look at them together. And I think this is a question for each of us, is which would you prefer? Would you rather have the bounty? Or would you rather have this precious person? Whoop. I don't know about you, but the answer is quite clear to me. I know which one I would choose. And I would just like to say how very much I have enjoyed this. It's just been a wonderful live. I have to leave now because my family have come and brought supper, so I have to partake of that. But I've had so much fun showing you some of my favorite decks, and it's just been wonderful. And thank you for this opportunity, Scott. And it was so much fun hanging out with the rest of you ladies in this live. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. I appreciate it. And I knew she had a family over for dinner, so we won't keep you waiting. I do have a little bit of surprise because I did know that Nancy was taking out a little bit early, and I said if we have a full house, which we pretty much do, I'm just going to keep going, and we are going to have a special guest to do some fire, or some earth. So Nancy, thank you. You did a
And I get to
beautiful
watch.
job.
I get to watch the replay.
Yes, you do. Absolutely.
Y'all look
Absolutely.
beautiful.
And
Thank
the
you
person,
for
our surprise guest is also going to be having some fire cards just in case Renee said she might be on her last. So, Renee, if you want to stick around, whatever you want to do. But Nancy, I know you need to go, so I'm going to say bye.
So good to meet
And
you.
thank you so much, okay?
Bye, Nancy.
Bye.
Enjoy your supper.
All right. So while we are waiting for our special guest to come in, we will go to Laura. Is that good?
Okay.
And you guys let me know again if you're Renee. Are you good with time right now?
Yes, I'm
okay.
good still.
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah, and I'll tell you more about what we can do because I have a neat idea for you. So, sorry, Laura, I'm going to you now. Here we go. Boom.
Okay, so for my next water deck, I wanted to include an oracle deck in my selections. So I picked the saltwater reading cards, which I'm sure many folks are familiar with. They're called Journey with the Messengers of the Sea by Laura Bowen. And Laura Bowen is a Indigenous artist of Wirimi and Biripi, people of the Manning River area in New South Wales, Australia. And this deck is made, her artwork is made with painting with feathers, and particularly the feathers of seabirds in this deck. So it's this dot style of painting, which I think is really beautiful. And of course, as saltwater reading cards, it's based on saltwater life. These are the backs. And something that I like about this deck is that I feel like it kind of bridges between water in kind of the most literal sense of fish and coral and sea life, but also the kind of, say, like metaphorical or symbolic associations with water as being receptive, in the sense that the deck is really about being open to messages from the environment. And in this case, it's the environment that the creator is familiar with, which is a saltwater environment. So the crocodile, for example, there's keywords on the bottom. Hidden obstacles, so that, the saltwater crocodile, you probably aren't going to see if they're there because they are underwater a lot with just their eyes showing, but they're definitely an obstacle because you don't want to run into them. You don't want to run into the water if they're there. But if they're there, they're probably hidden. So, these really strong associations with the animals in this deck. And I'm usually not one for guidebooks necessarily. It really depends on the deck. But Laura Bowen's guidebooks are amazing. So like a deck like this for a daily draw and just reading the book. Like most decks, I don't necessarily read the book every time I'm working with them, especially if I've had them a long time. But this one, I will. The coral card, and the colors are amazing. My light is washing them out a little bit for sure. But the coral having to do with strength, having a exoskeleton as it does, that is very hard, but it's also coral is very vulnerable in a lot of ways to changes in the environment. Changes in the water can really affect it, and it's very soft on the inside, unlike its exoskeleton outside. So I like the sense of I think tarot strength cards have this a lot of the time too, that strength is not just hardness or just toughness, but there is a kind of protective sense to it. It's not just an animal deck, so rough seas as the unexpected, the ways that, being out at sea, this kind of storm kicking up unexpectedly can be can be unexpected, right? And what that can bring, I feel like it's really evocative in a reading. This could be read in spreads in my mind. And I didn't grow up on like an ocean or anything like that, but I do live in a lakes region, and I'm in the water a lot and around the water a lot. So this one appeals to me. It has a tides card that has the moon phases here, and the keyword is cycles, which I think is perfect for thinking about the tide and the moon phases again. And whether those cycles are something that we work with actively or not, they definitely have their pull on us and pull on the water, I believe. And there's like a lot of little things to learn in the guidebook about the different animals. So I learned that having manta ray as the card for friendship. I can't say I knew much about manta rays before, but the guidebook for this card talks about the manta ray having a kind of mutually beneficial symbiotic relationship with a suckerfish, and the suckerfish swimming underneath the manta ray, and the two, essentially helping each other out. And what kind of a message that can be, to learn from in terms of having kind of mutually sustaining relationships that have built up over time, I think is really lovely. And I like this deck because it's, again, very balanced. There's cards about obstacles, and then there's, the dolphins are to be joyful, and the seashells are guidance, which makes me think of the forms of divination that work with seashells come to mind. So this is just a beautiful deck that I think is both kind of watery, literally, and in the artwork itself being made with seabird feathers. It's like the water is in this art in a really amazing way, and also that encourages kind of receptivity to the environment in a way that I like. So I will leave it there, and that's the Saltwater Reading Cards by Laura Bowen, and this is a deck published by Rockpool, and it comes with a big guidebook.
Oh yeah, it does.
Good, and color, full color.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I love when the decks actually have the cards in them in full color and even bigger. So, yeah, that's one I'm definitely gonna have to look into too, because the sea, the ocean is like a whole other universe, right, in and of itself. And you can only go down so far, but it goes further. So who knows what's down there? But, yeah. I love that. Okay, so what we're going to do, I promise we are having a special guest, but I want to go ahead and go in order just so that we can, I know Jackie, I don't want her nerves to start, I don't want her to go out again. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Jackie. Jackie, the special guest is waiting, but we're going to wait for you, Jackie, and let you go next. Okay, are you good?
Yep, I'm good.
All right. Boom.
Okay, so my next deck is the Oracle of the Unicorns. Let's show you the backs this way. This is my favourite Oracle deck at the moment, and it feels very airy to me. The images are of unicorns kind of flying and flowing through the air. They're like kind of angel guides. The messages are very inspirational. They give you kind of affirmations, very good for spiritual growth, I feel. And the guidebook is really good. It really does expand on what you're seeing on the card. It's got like, page at least for each card, other than this short part that is on the card. Hope you can see these okay. Or am I going this way?
There you go. A little bit towards you. There you go. Perfect.
Okay. So, yep, these give me kind of mystical vibe. The artwork feels very airy to me, so that's why I have picked this deck as an air deck. Okay, and that's it. That's the Oracle of the Unicorns.
Awesome. Okay, and you know what? I'm just a little bit disappointed in one thing, Jackie. You didn't say who made me do it.
Oh, yes, this was a Scott made me do it deck.
This was a Scott made me do it. Yeah, and I swore I would never get a unicorn deck ever, and I was like, why do I want unicorn? Like, no, I'm not 5. No, and one of my friends is like, no, you need this deck, and my favorite expression to say, that I stole from her is she's like, you get a bad ringing, slap a unicorn on that bitch. It changes everything. So
That's right, yeah.
So there you go. So we have a special guest, and they have been doing a wonderful job so far helping moderate. And I just had them as a backup just in case. And I knew Nancy was going to take out at 5:30. I'm thinking we might go about 30, 45 minutes. It depends on what you guys want to do. We still have a pretty full house, but let's welcome in who is going to, he's got some fire decks and he's got some earth decks. So I am adding boom, 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 boom. Ben.
Oh.
This is Ben from Beneficial Tarot. Hey, Ben.
Hey everyone, you're all doing
Hey.
a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for modding. You've been modding. You and Angel have been modding the hell out of that thing. So I appreciate
Well, I'll
that
tell you,
so
Ange
much.
is brilliant. Ange has been absolutely brilliant. She keeps beating me to the links.
Can everybody hear Ben okay?
Yep.
Can you
Yeah.
hear him okay? Okay. Just want to make sure. All right, perfect. So what we'll do is for the next little bit, I think I'm up next, and then Ben has some fire. You have some fire decks, right? Yep. So I was hoping, Ben, what we can do is I don't know how to put two people on at the same time, but what I can do is you can show your fire decks, and then I want to get Renee's specific opinion on that, and if she has that deck, she considers that a fire deck. So we'll do that, and then he has the backup for the earth as well. So thank you, Ben. And I'm going to let you chill for just a second and get your stuff in order, which I'm sure you already have. But I am really, really excited to show this one. This is my favorite Oracle deck of all time. And this is the Angel Prayers by Kyle Gray. This is a genius of a man who created this deck. He's only like 30 years old. He actually does have the ability to talk to angels. And when I first saw this, I'm like, and heard about him, I'm like, no, because it reminded me of Christianity and, just things that, did no longer resonated. But when I started looking at angels as guides, I'm like, I'm going to give this a chance, and I'm going to, try this oracle out. And oh my God, I'm so glad I do. I have all 4 of his now. And just to show you a few how beautiful these cards are. So this is one of my my spirit guides. This is Archangel, and I'll probably mess up the name, Ragiel. But just look at that. Look how androgynous that angel is. And angels can appear in all forms, right? But I love the androgyny here. Like, this could be a male, this could be a female, doesn't matter. No, they're freaking beautiful. And I love that. And it says underneath, thank you, Ragiel, for surrounding my light in a harmonious light. So that's my first one there. And then I wanted to show Raziel, Spiritual Gifts. Just absolutely stunning artwork, right? I mean, just so much spirit you can get out of these. It says, thank you for helping me channel my gifts and talents. And then we have Ariel. This is Ariel. Thank you, Ariel, for helping me stand my ground with peace. And what's really cool, if you get more than one of his decks, he will actually, like in another deck, Ariel could be a guy. Because Ariel, I can't talk. Angels can come in all forms, right? So I love this. Look at the backs. Just beautiful. And I edged mine in blue. But here's another one of my guides is Shamil. It says, thank you, Shamil, for removing the barriers around my heart. Isn't that beautiful? And then the last one I have is on the front of the box. This is Michael. It says, you are protected. Thank you, Michael, for surrounding me with your protective light. I mean, I just love the beauty and the message in these cards. This deck, like, literally falls out and, like, hits me on the foot. So, a lot, like, once a week. So, it likes attention. So, if you don't have an angel deck, if you're worried about, it might not resonate, I really, recommend this deck. So, that is the Angel Prayers by Kyle Gray. And let's go ahead. Let's see. Renee says I work with angels. Gorgeous.
That's a gorgeous deck.
What's that?
That's a gorgeous deck. I love it.
Oh, it is. All his is amazing. All his is totally amazing. So
yeah.
All right. So Ben, you are up. Sorry, my voice is going again. So Ben, you want to do fire, and then we'll come back to Renee, and we'll get some opinions. So
Yeah.
You ready? Okay. You're going up here.
Oh,
and by the way, if you're still in the, I'm not sure if Ange is still in the chat or not. I think she is. Yeah. Ange, can you link Ben's channel? I know you have Beneficial Tarot there. She'll do that for you. And Ben, do you want to tell us anything about your channel first?
Yeah, no, Beneficial Tarot is the name of my channel, and I just like to talk about everything tarot. I do flip throughs on there, and I like to talk about tarot and help teach people who are new to tarot, because although I'm not new to tarot, I've only really started getting back into it recently, so hopefully you might find some interesting info on there as well. So yeah. Are you ready for the fire
Go
one?
for it, yeah.
Okay, so I chose this deck. It's actually a bit of a darker deck, because it's kind of like it's like a shadow deck really, but it's called the Moonlight Tarot, and it's an indie deck that I got off Etsy. But I chose it as a fire deck because you think of kind of like smoke, don't you, with fire and stuff. So it's kind of like going into the illusion of the shadow self and that. But this so not that particular card, but the court cards are very fiery, and that's the Princess of Wands. I love here, like it's like she's kind of casting some kind of spell, and there's all this fire around her. You've also got the Knight of Wands, who is kind of doing a ritual dance around this fire. And also the Queen of Wands there. I love that she's kind of like got this broomstick, and who doesn't want to ride on a broomstick? Very Harry Potter kind of thing. And that's the King of Wands. But also, talking of Harry Potter, it does kind of look a bit like the wand from Harry Potter there. So I kind of chose that card. And I think that's the Eight of Wands and that. But I really like this deck. I've used it a couple of times now to do shadow work, and it is kind of fiery because it kind of invokes passion and that. After I've done a reading, I feel ready to get started again. So for me, it's a bit of a fire deck. But I think another card I did pull for this deck was the Hermit card. I love how there's no actual person in this card, but you can almost put yourself in this card. It's almost like you're in a cave with a fire blaring. So that was another card. And also this one I liked because, again, it just reminded me of Harry Potter. And that is the 5. So yeah, that's the Moonlight Tarot. Is everybody still there?
Yeah, sorry, I got a message, so I was just reading that real quick.
I thought I was on my own then.
No, you're doing great. You're awesome. Okay, yeah, I do not have that deck either. Can you remind, because I was reading a message from Laura, can you tell me what that the name of it is again?
Yeah, it's called the Moonlight Tarot, and I bought it off Etsy. I think it's an indie deck, but it's quite a dark deck, but I just wanted to kind of use it for shadow work and that. So I don't know if anybody else has heard of it, but I don't know. I think it might be relatively new, but yeah, It's a
I
good
haven't
one.
heard of it, but that one card you showed with the silhouette and the fire in the back, that one hit me on a whole nother level. I will say that one
Yeah,
card alone, I was like, why don't I have this deck?
yeah.
So I guess I don't have to ask Renee if you resonated with it or not.
That one card, the first one you showed already, I was like, yep, that's me.
Yeah, that one.
Yes, the silhouette, that one.
Yeah, yeah. I know that's what got me. That one, definitely.
That's awesome.
Yes.
All right, so what I'd like to do, if y'all don't care, Laura has to leave at 6. So, or if you want to do one more, if you would like, I would love for you to. So,
Am I jumping the queue? Am I actually next?
you're actually next because Ben is doing Earth 2,
Okay.
so you're good. Yeah.
I was gonna say I've got a little bit of time. There's like, I can ramble, but I'm not gonna ramble for 14 minutes. So I've still got some time. So for my next deck, I thought I would show. This is another watercolor deck, and this is a deck for Wonder Walking by Amy T. Wan. And this is a deck that I didn't get for a long time because I looked at it and I'm like, how would I get on with this? But I'm very glad that I did. And it can be an Oracle deck, but it's not really designed to be that. It's designed to be a deck that you would draw a card, or you could have more than one, I guess. And then that card would inspire a walk or a adventure, somewhere outside in the world, and what you're going to be looking for or paying attention to on that excursion. And then there's a little pamphlet that comes with the deck with some prompts that you can think about for each card, and then you could journal about or meditate on or whatever you like. So these are the backs of the cards here with a labyrinth on the back. And they just have single keywords for each one for the most part. So this is edges, and edges has an octopus there under a wave, and then there's butterflies on top of the water there. So with this card, you could think about kind of liminal spaces, and maybe go to the edge of a body of water, or the edge of a forest, the edge of a road, something, and see what that kind of inspires as you go for that walk. Listen. How often do we walk around with headphones on? And how much better might we know our environments if we listened a little bit? Thinking about the sound of birds flapping, looking at that card. Portals. The portals card, to me, it looks like there's maybe some little animals in a little hideaway there underneath a tree. So this card, I think in the pamphlet, there's an idea of looking for portals where you are out. So, things that you can step through, holes in trees that you can look in, and the new world you might encounter on the other side. Landmark. What constitutes a landmark to you? What stands out as something that you could orient yourself based on? I learned a new word from this deck, which is pareidolia, which is what this is called. And pareidolia has to do with finding patterns in things that don't necessarily, in things that don't have deliberate, human-made patterns in them. So finding patterns in meaning in nature, for example. So I think that evokes a lot. And of course, I'll just show that, there is a moon card in this deck as well. And there's another, there's a big guidebook that you can get separately that goes with this deck with more journal prompts. And, you can write in the book. There's spaces to write in the book. I can't write in the book because the book is beautiful. But there's a good little fold out that comes with it with lots of good ideas. And it could also be an oracle deck for a daily draw or something like that as well. But I like this deck as a watery deck, both in terms of the artwork feeling watery to me, but also that receptiveness again that it advocates for, I think. So I'll just leave it there. And that's the deck for Wonder Walking by Amy T. Wan.
That's awesome. That's one I've never seen before either. So yeah, I love that, and I love your ring, by the way. It
Oh, thank you.
Makes me think of water.
This is
Just say your name. Beautiful.
Larimar.
Oh, I love it. I need one of those in my life. Definitely. Definitely. So I believe Renee has to leave as well. So we're
Gotta
gonna
go.
say thank you so much. I appreciate
Thank
you did an
you.
awesome job.
Thank you,
And
Scott, and thank you, everyone. This was so fun. I hope you enjoyed the decks that I showed. And yeah, I
all
guess
right.
I'll
Bye,
see you
Renee.
guys next time.
Bye.
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 Thanks. Talk to you later. Bye bye.
Okay.
All right. So Laura, you good for a few more minutes? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So let's go ahead and do our air, and then we'll do an earth from Ben. Is that okay
Okay.
with you guys? Jackie, you ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
All right, awesome. And in the meantime, if just a thought, because we still have a lot of people in the chat, which is awesome. If anyone has any air or fire, or even water, since we're going to be down to, but Ben's got both air and fire, so maybe water. Anyone? I saw Gerald in here earlier. Didn't get a chance to say hello. If Gerald or anybody who's a water sign has water in their charts, anything like that, and you want to join us for just a few minutes, let me know. Put that in the chat for me in caps, so we'll get you on here. So, and even if it's like fire or earth as well, would be great too, because Ben's doing both. He's got double duty right now. So I'm thinking another 15, 20 minutes, something like that. But Jackie, ready?
Okay.
Okay. There we go.
Okay, so my next air deck I've chose was the Deviant Moon, which a lot of people will know. So I'm thinking that this deck is quite shadowy. It's a little bit darker, shows the inner workings of the mind, and how it could spiral into the depths. And it can be a bit of a Marmite deck, whereas, you either like it or hate it. I think it's quite quirky. It's dreamlike, or dreamscapes, do they call it? Like this one, for instance, you think, why is the person putting their foot on the baby's head? But the child is trying to get back into the womb, but as you can see, they're pregnant, so yeah, it's time for them to not quite stand on their own 2 feet, but they're not going back up there. They've got to stay where they are. Then this one is 10 of Swords. They've kind of had it really well and truly. Then what have we got here? The 9 of Swords, so like the Nightmare card. And this one, the 7 of Swords, very different. So again, you'd need the guidebook, I think, to really delve into some of these meanings, which I haven't yet. This is quite a recent acquisition for me, so I can't tell you what that means at this point. But yeah, that's the Deviant Moon.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to put you back down here. And I have the Deviant Moon too, and my interpretation, it took me a while to get there on that card, the 7, because you think of the 7 of Swords is almost like the thief. And it's like she's going to such lengths to actually like hide the swords. She's willing to swallow one. I'm like, oh shit.
Right.
That whole deck is an oh shit deck for me. It's just like, whoa, it blows me away. So
Yeah.
that's perfect for air. I love that you picked that. So,
Thank you.
Yep. Laura, do you need to skedaddle?
Maybe I should, just so that I don't interrupt anybody leaving in a sudden way. But thank you so much for having me on at the last minute. I had fun. I was going to be here in the chat anyway, but this is better. So.
I'm so glad you were. It would just seemed complete to add you and Ben. So thank you for being
Nice
part
to
of
meet
it.
you, Laura.
And nice
Lovely
to
to
meet
see you.
briefly, and nice to meet you, Jackie, on camera. Have a good day, everyone. See you all soon.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, we are down to 3. And again, if anybody's, I'm just scrolling, you can see my finger. If anyone wants to come up and share a couple of decks or one deck, a couple of cards, you're more than welcome to do that. Let me put myself in the center now. All right, and Ben, I want to at least get to one of your Earth decks. So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. There you go.
Okay, so this one is an Oracle deck, and it's called the Earthcraft Oracle. And I love this deck. I use it most days actually, just to pull like a card a day, and sometimes I incorporate it into my tarot readings. But this is my favourite card, and it's the mountain. And I just love how she's kind of like part of the mountain there, and this river that's flowing down is kind of like her hair. It's a very very earthy deck, but I just love the art style of it. Forest bathing. I don't know if anybody's ever done forest bathing, but I did forest bathing for the first time last year, and it's such a nice experience. It really kind of calms the mind and everything. But this deck just really speaks to me because of the earthiness of it. And I don't think I've got earth in my chart or anything, but I really do resonate with these kind of decks. Hi, Diane. And I love this death card. It's like the trees kind of die, but then like it's kind of being wrapped. Just kind of there's like twigs and stuff wrapping around. It's just quite striking imagery. And that's the abundance card. But yeah, I really like this deck. I haven't learned much about the cards, so I don't know them off by heart yet. So I still have to refer to the book. But it's a really nice deck, that one. Very, very earthy, and I think it's relatively new. I think it came out this year. But yeah, it's definitely a favourite of mine. So that's my Earth deck.
That's awesome. That was really cool. Yeah, I don't, I think Earth, even though I have Earth in my chart, I think Earth is the one that I kind of gravitate to the least, but I'm learning to love it, and I actually love that deck that you just showed. So that was awesome. All right, I'm still seeing if anybody wants to come up. I'm thinking we'll do one more for Jackie, one more for me, and then we'll wrap it up unless anyone else wants to come in. I did want to say hi to, I believe it's Amanda from Swan Spirit. Saw her come in, so hi. And Diane, again, I think is popping back in, so glad to have you guys. So, Jackie, you just went, didn't you?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Okay. Let me show one of mine real quick here. I'm just going to grab, I have a lot, but yeah, I'll hold off. Yeah, on these, because these that I picked here, let me see here. All right, so these that I picked here are the, let me find the package if I can. And something I've been interested in, I can't see it right now, but they're called the Buddhism reading cards. So the Buddhism reading cards were something that Buddhism has been something I've been interested in for a long time. And when I started my spiritual awakening, it was like, yeah, I want to learn more about it. Do I believe there's a lot of truth to it? Absolutely. Am I going to become a Buddhist? No. But I think you can take truth out of everything, and I think it is very much has to do with this deck, what I just said. So the Buddhism reading cards are all different. These are the backs, actually. So all the backs are different. They're just stunning. I actually trimmed and etched this deck in red, and the box is red. And so just have this little guy here, and he says, pure speech. Happiness comes when your words are pure, bringing about kindness and belief to yourself and others. This one here, got the mother with her baby, looks like. It says unconditional love. To love means to cherish, to be compassionate, to be of service, to be tolerant, and to be wise. And then it has another little paragraph and a picture of the card underneath it as well. And then here, I just love these colors. Pure livelihood. Your work is to discover your world, and then with all your heart, give yourself to it. And here we go. Refrain. This is called pure action. Refrain, and I believe this is the Buddha. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Refrain from that which is unskillful or that which harms. Do good and purify your heart. That is it. And that's from the Buddha. And one more. I just love these pictures. Yes, the colors. Wow, yeah. That's what drew me to this deck. But the sayings are even better. You can just think on these all day. It says loving kindness. I left this one for the last for a reason, because it's my favorite. This is from the Dalai Lama. And he said, when we feel love and kindness towards others, it not only makes others feel loved and cared for, but it also helps us to develop inner happiness and peace. How beautiful is that? I just have no more words because it just says so much to me. So, yeah, let me take a look here. The comments. And let me see this. It's important to ground yourself on your spiritual journey and find a place connection with the earth beneath your feet. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Thank you, Patrice. Yeah, that's one of my top two. Like my first favorite oracle is that Angel Prayers, and the second one is this one, the Buddhism reading card. So, and I believe it's by Sophin Chan, and I believe she did two other, the minis, kind of like the Forest Fae, the real small decks. And I believe that Simon has done a walkthrough on his channel. They're amazing too. I want to get those. So, Jackie, I'm going to let you wrap this up.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Okay, so my last air deck is the Celestial Bodies Oracle. So that's like astrology and numerology. It has a great guidebook, chunky guidebook, with all the information you need. Am I the right way up? Maybe not. That way. Okay, and so for this deck, where are my cards? Sorry. Okay, I'm going to show you the backs. These are lovely big cards. So if you like big cards, we've got air and Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and this is a really pretty card, Mercury. So for me, this deck is like a whole new language. I'm just getting into starting to learn, a bit on astrology. So this is a really pretty deck, and it's also got all the information I think that I will need to move me forward on my learning about astrology, etc. So that's it. That's the Celestial Bodies Astrological Deck.
And Jackie, I absolutely love that deck, and I love how you picked out all the air signs, and of course Mercury. is the planet of communication, so thoughts. So it generates, it's over air as well. So that was perfect that you did that. And I don't have that one, and I want one, that one now. Those were like beautiful, I think. Just really beautiful.
Yeah, they're really lovely cards.
Yes, and then Candy said another fantastical deck I've not heard about it before, right? And Donna says, "Me too, Jackie. Just starting to learn about astrology, and I'm going to look at that deck." Yeah, awesome. Okay, so you know what? I want to give Ben. Do you have one more deck you want to show? Because I want to. I feel like you need to show one more.
Okay. So I did pull this one out, and actually, Scott, I said to you the other night that I didn't like this, but I've kind of changed my mind.
Okay.
Because I think we were talking about it the other night, and I was like, I'm not sure about this one, but I actually quite like it now. And it is the Cosmic Slumber Tarot.
Oh yeah.
And I chose this as a fiery one, really, as well, just as a backup. But I actually quite like it. Sorry, the cards are a little bit shiny on this one, but let me just find. They're just very, very. I mean, that's the Tower. It's very striking. But I do like the fire kind of cards. Cheers. The colours are very kind of purpley as well, but I just love like the colours that she's got with the fire here and all like the smoke and stuff. It's kind of different as well. It doesn't kind of it doesn't feel like your traditional RWS. It kind of seems slightly different. I just love the sorry, my hands are I love this 8 here. Like she's just kind of looks like she's falling, but I feel like she's gonna go fly off or something. That's the 9 of Torches at 10. And there, the princess. Again, another princess that's kind of dancing around the fire. Then you've got your prince, queen, and king. But yeah, just another deck that I wasn't sure of, but I've kind of got into this. So I think. But yeah, that was the last one I wanted to say. Thank you, Scott.
No problem. Yeah, and they were asking, and I think I forgot to mention that Ben is a Gemini, so he's actually air. But we did his chart. Me and him did his chart together yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And then I knew it already, but that boy has fire all through his chart. I knew that was I knew. It's like me. I don't have fire in my first 3, but he actually has a moon in Sagittarius. I have Sagittarius, like. You can't hardly see, if you know the astrological chart, it's just full of like stuff just colliding because there's so much Sagittarius and fire. So, and I believe you have a lot of earth in you too, Ben, because a lot of your decks are very earthy. So I think you did awesome. Yeah, thank you both. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for watching back. And this has been an amazing life. So, and it wouldn't have been possible without you all and the other 3 that were here. So, thank you so much. And I'll let you guys say bye.
Thank you. This was so fun. And thanks for making me feel so comfortable on my first full live.
You did amazing, Jackie.
And Jackie, we're so proud of you, and I know everyone else is as well. So, you as well, you shine on the screen. So
thank you
for allowing us to see you. So and your beauty. So we will end with that. And yes, thank you everyone. Thank you Donna. Thank you Ocean. Thank you Candy. Everyone's Renee's still here. I appreciate you guys. Love you all. We will say goodbye and see you soon. Over and out.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.